So today we're going to be doing a little get ready with me slash tutorial on my evening makeup look. This is like my perfect go-to makeup for if I have somewhere to be and I want to look cute. That's it. As you guys know, I am an esthetician. Now I will say a lot of the makeup I use is not necessarily like acne safe, so use at your own risk. When I'm going out, I really prioritize like looking good over like taking care of my skin, which is really bad, I know. I just feel like whenever I do like a full beat, the Esty in me just goes out the window because I just want to look snatched. So I would just say, you know, use these products in like moderation. Don't make this part of your everyday routine. I definitely don't do this every single day, but if you want to look cute here and there, these are the products I use to achieve my going out look. Okay, starting off with a completely bare face, of course. You can see I do have some breakouts going on. I believe it's about to be that time of the month for me, so. Okay, so the first step, of course, I have my skin prepped. I'm gonna put all my skin prep right here. I use all Glam Plus. Whenever I need my makeup to last a really long time, I will prime. I go in with this Refi primer. Now I will say, you do have to kind of squeeze it and roll it on your face, which might not be the most hygienic, but I do always do my makeup with a clean face, so. And I don't typically do my makeup with my hair like in my face like this. I usually have it clipped back, but I do need my hair to look cute tonight. So while the primer is setting, I'm just gonna go in with my e.l.f. brow lamination gel. This is somewhat of a new addition to my makeup routine. I was using the Anastasia brow freeze before, which I do think I prefer actually, because this does leave your eyebrows a little bit like crunchy. So today I'm gonna try and set my brows first, just because it always does leave like kind of like a white mark because I have like powder on my brows. So I'm gonna do these first, set them in place, and then I'll just fill them in with my pencil later. I want to make sure I have extra coverage in the spots that need it. I'm gonna go in with my NARS Pot Concealer. This is in the shade Light 2 Vanilla. I feel like so many people love this product, and at first I really did too, but I feel like the more I use it, I kind of realize like, I don't know if I'm using it wrong, but I just don't love it. I feel like it moves around way too easily, especially on top of makeup. Like using it on its own, really nice, natural, beautiful, but I feel like it doesn't last on me. I haven't done this like underneath foundation spot concealing in a while, so let's see if like this is really the move. I feel like I used to do this a lot more, so I think this might be the move to keep it stuck on there. So when it comes to foundation, I am a little bit confused, and I'll tell you why. I try my best to stay away from like products that are gonna clog my pores and products that I know break me out, but I have yet to find a foundation or skin tint or any like all over base product that I like as much as the Milk Hydro Grip. This is a skin tint, but I feel like it gives more like foundation coverage. Now I do feel like this breaks me out, I'm not gonna lie. I use it pretty much every time I do a full face, but I do feel like it breaks me out. So I'm trying to find something that I like as much as it, but everything I've tried I just don't like as much as this. If I'm doing a daytime makeup, I do use my Color Science Flex. This is SPF with coverage, which I really do like for like a full face look, but I don't like to use it at night because I just feel like it's a waste. So typically if I'm doing a full face, I'll mix the two just to kind of like get like the finish of this one, which is like nice and dewy, and then the coverage of this one. This one is also really nice and dewy, but I just feel like this one breaks me out, so if I mix them it's like less bad. I don't know. And I quite literally just put this right on, literally just scribble it on my face. I usually like a lot less coverage on my forehead and chin, so I'll just dab like the tiniest bit. And once you look like this, I like to evenly distribute it with my fingers, and then I will go in with a brush. I'm using my Hourglass foundation brush. I 100% think this brush is worth the money. I use it every single time I do my makeup. I feel like it just gives you the most flawless blend and really like low effort as well. So once I have it kind of everywhere, I'm gonna go in with a sponge and just kind of like dab out the areas that I kind of want to diffuse, like the jawline, around my nose, like sides of my forehead where I want like a little less coverage. Do you see what I mean about the NARS concealer? I feel like the coverage is not there anymore. So once I kind of have everything blended out with the Beauty Blender, I'll go back in with my foundation brush because there is still some foundation on here, and I'll kind of just go back into the areas where I want a little more coverage And you guys can see the finish of this foundation is just so dewy and healthy looking. It's so pretty. So I'm gonna go back in with the NARS concealer. Just take my little brush. I am using a Hourglass concealer brush, which I also swear by. I'm just gonna go back into those problem areas and kind of let it sit for a little bit. When you're doing this spot concealing, you don't want to blend it out too much. You kind of just want to place it exactly where you want it and dab it in. You can always diffuse like the areas outside of the breakout to like blend it a little better, but you want the most coverage obviously right on the breakout, so you really want to dab it on and then diffuse like the edges afterward. So next we're going to do a little bit of color correcting. So I use this Huda Beauty color corrector in the shade Cherry Light. So if I ever have a breakout that's like more on like the purpley side, I will use a little bit of this as well, just to kind of offset that like purpley color. I'm going to use a little bit right here, the teeny tiniest little bit. Can you see like how teeny tiny that is? And then of course under my eyes, just wherever I have the most like darkness. I've honestly been having such problems with my under eyes lately. I feel like they look so dark and I don't know why. I think it may be my sleep schedule. With the color corrector, I don't really like to let it sit for too long because I feel like it does tend to look a little bit cakey with all the layers under my eyes. So I will blend this out pretty much right away. And I feel like that makes such a difference under my eyes. Do you see how much less tired I look? I'm also just gonna dab out the color corrector in the areas I put it on my cheek. So now that our base is somewhat even, I'm gonna go ahead and start adding some dimension back to my face. So for under my eyes, I really like the Hourglass concealer. I use the shade Birch. I feel like as a pale girly, it's really hard to find under eye concealers that are actually brightening without being like just white. So I put a little bit of this under my eyes, not too much. I tried to keep it like a little bit lower, not right where my eye crease is because my eyes do crease quite easily. And then I also just like to go on the outer corner here. This is just going to give you kind of like a lifted effect on the outer corners of your eyes, so I do just a little bit of that. I like to let my under eye concealer dry just a little bit, and while that's drying, I'm going to go in with my Westman Atelier Face Trace Contour Stick. And I think the shade is Olay. When I tell you, Westman Atelier has some of the best face products. I absolutely love their contour and their blush. I feel like the formula is so creamy and blendable. It's unlike anything else I've ever tried. So I go in with the stick right onto my face. I usually don't do this for most products, but because their products are so blendable, I can actually go in right on the face and it blends really well. I'm just gonna take this little e.l.f., I think it's like a buffing brush, and I'm gonna just dab that out. I feel like any product that you really need to like work in is gonna start removing some of the foundation and stuff underneath, and that's why you lose some of the coverage, because you end up dabbing off all of the foundation that you have under just to blend the product on top. I also put a little bit of the contour on just like the perimeters of my forehead, and then I feel like I want just a little more coverage on my cheeks. So I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Fair Warm. This is probably my favorite concealer. I like it even more than the Hourglass one, and it's way more affordable than pretty much every other concealer I have or that I've tried. I'm gonna let that concealer just like kind of dry in place for a little bit just to give it a little more coverage. While that is drying, I'm gonna blend out my under eye concealer, and then we're gonna go in with some blush. I can't decide which blush I want to do. This is the Rhode blush in Sprinkle. This one here is Tan Line, and then this one's the Westman Atelier in the shade Coquette. I feel like I'm kind of feeling the Rhode ones a little more like pigmentation, a little more color. This one's good for like a more natural makeup day. I'm gonna take this little Hourglass brush dupe. I think this is literally from like Shein. I don't really like it for foundation, but I do like it for blush. I'm just gonna take whatever's on my hand and dab it on my cheeks. I think that's like the perfect amount of blush for like the underpainting technique. I mean, I guess this isn't really underpainting because I didn't do it under my foundation, but I do like to do a cream blush and then also a powder blush. So I feel like for the cream portion, this is like the perfect amount. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more under eye concealer, just in like the dark area right here. I'm gonna let that sit while I blend out the jawline concealer. And I think I'm gonna go in with the brush for this stuff here. the first round of under eye concealer, I did a beauty blender. I feel like it kind of shears it out a little bit, but because I want a little more concentrated coverage right over here, I'm gonna do the brush. I have to re-blend my under eye right before I put my powder on. So for my under eyes, I'm using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake. I use the shade Sugar Cookie. I load up my powder puff. And then I also press in a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Brightening Flawless Finish Complexion Perfecting Eye, Face, and damn. This is the pressed powder from Charlotte Tilbury. So now that I have this all baked under here, I'm gonna just lightly set the rest of my face with the Charlotte Tilbury. I just kind of pack this onto a fluffy powder brush, tap off the excess, and just lightly dab it everywhere. I try not to move around the product underneath my powder too much, so I really just like to dab it in everywhere, because I feel like the minute you start swishing it around, I'm gonna like move some stuff. And because I am an oily girly, I will just kind of go in with my powder puff on my nose and forehead as well. And then I'm gonna brush the bake off of my under eyes with just like the smaller side of this fluffy brush. Same with on top of my eyes, because I don't really do eye makeup, so I just kind of like to brush off whatever I put on there. And now that our face is nice and matte and set, we can kind of bring some hydration back. So don't mind my teeny tiny packaging. I have a big one coming, but this is the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I also really don't like the way my brows are looking. They're looking super crusty. So I don't recommend the e.l.f. brow freeze, okay? Because it's gonna leave your brows looking crusty. I'm going in with my Anastasia Brow Wiz. This is in the shade Soft Brown. This is definitely a little lighter than my eyebrows, but I kind of like it that way. I feel like when my brows are too dark, they're just too much of a statement, and I don't really want my eyebrows to be the star of the show. I am no eyebrow expert. I do not take pride in my eyebrow skills at all. I really hate doing my brows, and I don't even like to talk when I do them because I feel like I'm too expressive with my brows and then I mess them up. So I'm gonna do that in silence. I'm also remembering why I hate doing my eyebrow gel first. I just feel like the brow product just slips and slides everywhere, and it's so much harder to fill in your brows when you already have the gel on first. I don't know how people do that. Don't switch up your routine just to try something new. Just don't. Okay, I've literally never had to do this before. I literally had to wipe my brow off with some micellar water because it just is not cooperating. So again, this is your lesson to not switch up your makeup routine and just do what you freaking normally do. Because now I'm micellar watering my eyebrow mid-routine. Like, what? I think if you have like a fuller brow or maybe like a more fluffy eyebrow, it'll be easier to fill it in even if it's like sculpted. But because I don't have too much eyebrow to work with, I feel like I can't get in like the gaps when I have them sculpted already. Okay, I think that's as good as the brows are gonna get. They're definitely sisters, not twins, but that's what we're working with today. Okay, I normally do my lips at the end, but I'm feeling really stressed about my makeup right now, so I'm gonna do them now because I feel like that kind of pulls everything together. If you want like a long-lasting lip, I really recommend a lip stain. This Huda Beauty one is my favorite one I've tried so far. I've tried the Summer Fridays also. I just don't really like it. I'm gonna try some cheaper alternatives as well. Also tried the Sachu lip stain in the shade Nude, and I really like this one too, but I find the Huda is a lot more like pigmented and you can get like a really precise line with it, so I kind of prefer this. That is more for like a more natural, like all over lip tint. This is more for like if you want to tint your liner, which is what I want to do. So I just draw kind of like a rough line and then blend it out with my finger. You do have to work kind of fast with this because it will literally dry in place. So the only complaint I have about this product is that it dries out so freaking fast. Like the applicator, I've had it upside down for like an entire 24 hours and it's still kind of dry at the tip. So make sure to store it down. I keep mine in my makeup bag, which is kind of a problem because then it does dry out quite quickly. I have like quite a pronounced Cupid's bow, so I kind of like to like straighten it out a little bit with the lip stain, but you really have to like blend it out around here because it's gonna look like a line on your lip. So, but But you know, I feel like that just really did something. I'm gonna go in with this Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer in the shade Light Medium. I wouldn't say this is like my all-time favorite powder bronzer, but I have to be honest, I haven't really found one that is my all-time favorite. Like, I don't really love any powder bronzers. I remember I used to really like the Physicians Formula like back in high school and maybe even like in university, but I haven't used that in a really long time. I think mine's probably expired. So for now, this is what I'm going in with. The only thing is it is quite pigmented, so I really try to brush a lot of it off before I put it on my face, because even the slightest little dab, you have all this like pigment, which is good, but it's a little harder to work with, I find. So I literally will like dab it once and then blend it into the top here. I never took the sticker off of my mirror just for the purpose of like being able to like get off the excess product. I'm also gonna take this little face brush. I think this is Morphe and the L'Oreal collab, number, it says A29. And I'm gonna just go in on like the excess stuff on the lid here and just contour my nose a little. I don't do too much just because I feel like it looks really obvious on me. But I do kind of just like to contour down here to define the like tip of my nose a little more. And then just a teeny bit on the sides. I just literally blend that out with my finger. None too serious. So I really love this blush for the cheeks. Duh, where else do you put blush? What the fuck? This is the Rare Beauty blush in the shade Happy. This one is a powder blush, but it has the most beautiful like shiny finish. So you can see it does kind of have like a like shimmery finish here. But you literally need like that much. And again, I just tap it off on the top part, and honestly sometimes on my hand too, because I don't want it to be too much. I go all the way in like pretty much to my under eye and like nose area because I just love a blush. I think I do want a little bit more of like a baby pink situation, so I'm gonna just, oh my god, my blush is stuck. Whew. I'm gonna go in with my Dior blush. This is in the shade 001 Pink. I know a lot of people hate this blush, but I've always liked it. I don't really see a problem with it. I think people expect products now to have like insane pigmentation, but I honestly feel like it makes products so much harder to work with. I kind of prefer when the pigmentation is a little more like you have to build it up rather than just being like immediate payoff. Because I feel like it's just so much harder to blend, so much harder to make look like natural, or to like, you know, have the rest of your makeup look cohesive, because that one product like blush or bronzer or whatever is just so pigmented. I also have like the worst chronic watery right eye, and my makeup is always separating around here. If anyone has any tips to like help with that, let me know, because it's genuinely such an issue. This is why I never wear eye makeup, because I always just like cry it right off. Okay, then I feel like once you start to add so much onto the cheeks, it starts to look a little messy. So I'm gonna go back in with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake. Actually, this time I'm gonna use the Cherry Blossom color. I take my same powder puff, I kind of like pack the product on, and then I just dab it on my hand and kind of like swirl it around to really pack it into the little powder puff. I feel like the line gets lost once you start putting like all these powder products on, so I'm just kind of redefining that. And then same with the under eye, I'm just gonna kind of do it right over here. And then to just kind of define that like nose contour, I'm just going down the middle of my nose and a little bit on the tip. I don't want to bake this for too long. It's literally been like a minute. I'm just gonna wipe it off. It's starting to come together, girls. It's starting to come together. We're gonna do a little bit of powder highlight. This is the Rare Beauty Enlighten highlighter. I usually do it on a brush, but I think I'm gonna do just a little bit of like finger highlighting on the nose. Just a little on the tip and the bridge and my cheek. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the eyes now. This is probably one of my least favorite steps of my makeup to do, but it is very necessary for the final look. So I've been trying out some new mascaras lately, and I haven't really found anything I love as much as this one. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Foreplay mascara. Girl, I don't know, I did not invent the name, but that's what it's called. This is a really good waterproof mascara. I have a lash lift right now, so my lashes will stay curled regardless, but even if I don't have a lash lift, this keeps them curled, which is great because all my other mascaras do not. They will drop immediately. This is the only one that actually keeps them up. I'm not sure if my tube is like dried out, so I'm gonna try my best to make this look good, but I've been like trying new mascaras for the past like month, so I literally have not used this one in so long. When you guys do your mascara, do you like literally brush it all the way on? Because I feel like I kind of like, I blink it on. I feel like that gives me so much more like volume. I don't know. I feel like when I brush it on, the tips are more defined, but when I blink it on, the like base is a little bit darker, which I like because I don't wear eyeliner most of the time, so I feel like that gives me a little more like, a little more density. I'm literally itching to take these rollers out of my hair. I hate having something like on my head. Like I really hate like wearing a hat or like wearing something on my head. Like it bothers me so much, especially when these little like strands of hair are like going in my makeup. Ooh, I've been wanting to take this out the whole time, girl. As my mascara kind of dries a little bit, I'm gonna set my face. So if I really need my makeup to last, I will use this One Size waterproof Until Dawn setting spray. This stuff will really make your makeup not move. However, it does kind of make your face feel like a little tight. So if you don't really like the feeling of wearing makeup, you might not like this. But if you want your makeup to last a long time, this is really nice. So I'm gonna go in with a spritz of the Charlotte Tilbury just to give myself a little bit of hydration. And then I'm gonna really set with the One Size. I need to walk away for a second. That is real stinky, guys. That is real stinky. It literally is hairspray. I'm just gonna take a little wet Q-tip and kind of get the mascara and whatever makeup is left over on my eyelid. I've really been enjoying filming this video. I hope you guys like it because I'm having so much fun. I feel like this is like my favorite thing to do. Just do my makeup and chat. Okay, I gotta leave my house in about 15 minutes. So I think we're doing pretty good. I also am gonna take a wet Q-tip and just kind of wipe the makeup off my piercings because I feel like they look so dull and I want them to look nice and shiny. I really feel like mascara makes such a difference. Like, are we seeing this? It's giving awake, it's giving alive, it's giving a lot of things. Okay, I'm gonna do some lippy. So I obviously have the stain on already, but I do like to also go in with a lip liner. I'm gonna go in with the Refine Lip Sculpt in the shade Taupe. My favorite lip liners are Refi and Charlotte Tilbury. They are literally the best. Okay, so I line my lips with the Refi, and then I'm just gonna go in with this MAC blush. It's in Totally Synced. It's kind of like a putty texture, like you can like move it around and stuff. I take just a little bit on my finger and I just like to dab it in the middle of my lip. I feel like it kind of gives like a little hint of baby pink. This has been like my lip hack for a while and I feel like it's just so cute. I'm also gonna take this Anastasia liquid lip. I don't even know. Oh, it's in the shade Guava. Actually, wait, it's not a liquid lip, it's a lip gloss, but I'll show you. It's like a very pigmented gloss. So I use it kind of just in the middle and I just gonna tap it out. I'm gonna add a little more highlight on my cheeks just because I feel like I need a little more something. So I'm gonna go in with the same Rare Beauty one just on my blush brush and just add a little more on my cheeks and nose. And then I'll probably go in with an actual lippy. I've been really loving the Rhode lippies, but I'm just gonna use this Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm just because I have it right in front of me. Okay, I'm gonna go take my hair out so we can look at the final finished look. But before I do that, I do kind of want to show you guys this one product that I love. This is the Westman Atelier. It is the Lit Up Highlight Stick. This one's in the shade Nectar. You can see how well loved it is. I've literally like, I'm beyond pan. Like it's literally like I have to scoop it out basically. So I take my cream blush brush and I just kind of get some on there. Usually it's not this hard to get the product out, but as you can see, it is well loved. And this just has the most beautiful, natural, glowy finish. Do you see how it just kind of makes you look like wet and dewy? So if I feel like my makeup just looks, ooh, okay, my light died, but I feel like If I feel like my makeup just looks a little bit matte, I will just add some of this on my cheek. This just really brings some life to my makeup look and just makes me look yummy and dewy. Okay girls, this is the final look. That is so delicious. I really hope you enjoyed. I had so much fun filming this. I think I want to do more like makeup videos. This was just like the funnest thing ever. Anyways, this is my final look. Thank you guys for watching. Love you.